Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a
Time's
saint.
past, y'all. Time's
But if you
past.
push her, oh Lordy.
What's next?
A straight talker is smiling. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can add her. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
She was born and bred in Nashville. Now she walks the beaches down in Florida sand. A mother and wife, a daughter, a sister, trying hard to do the best she can. She found her voice with a heavy heart, looking for purpose with trembling hands. And giving this all a new start, moving ahead, speaking for ones who came. She says I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones unheard, 'cause she's got a caring heart that won't be turned. Her mama fought cancer while she was searching. Stories that needed a gentle voice. We saw summer's name and felt the heart weak and tried to bring light where there was no choice. And when she heard us the best in her sadness rose, she prays for truth through the noise. She'll follow wherever the story goes, seeking their dignity, a child's joy. She says, I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones on her, 'cause she's got a caring heart that won't be turned. She said, I am who I am, I stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones of her. She's got a caring heart that won't be turned.
Well, hello again, everybody. Uh-oh. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Welcome in. Thank you for being here, everybody. Woo, we got a crowd tonight. Thank you for being here, everybody. Welcome in on this Monday. Time's up. Time's up. Hey, Raymond, thank you for being here. That's right. Welcome in to Smiley's World. Hello, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Susie, hello. How are you doing? Howdy. Howdy. I've been out running around all day trying to keep up with this, but I do know that time has passed. It's come. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see who we got here. Hello, everybody coming in. It's been 60s there. I hope it's getting better for you. I do. I really hope it's getting better for you. I heard now that a lot of people in Tennessee were without water because they've had a water line bust or something. Man, I hope it gets better for you. I know it's warmed up here a lot. Thank goodness. Everyone has spring fever there. Yeah. So wondering everybody is not sick. Hey, H. Davis. Hello, hello. Good evening. Wait. Hello. Wait. What? Wait. What? Hello, everybody. Everybody in the other stream. If I don't see you, hello, hello, hello. Everybody in the bushes, hello, hello. I see y'all been talking amongst yourselves. That is good, good, good news. Hey, Sherry Lynn. I hope I hadn't missed anybody. Carol, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Daniel Berry, Sports Highlight. Yo, yo, yo. Y'all go sub up to Daniel. We got Daniel in the house. Baby Kisses. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. I'm trying to hurry up. I'm trying. I am trying. Much love to everybody. Deanna, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, I know this is a sad situation, Susie. Sad situation. Hello, my beautiful Millie. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Jen, hello. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hello to you and hello to your better half, Jeff. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. It is sad when a woman that age goes missing. You got that right, honey. You got that right. I'm telling you. It's fixing to be on, honey. It's fixing to be on. They're going to have to get it together. Hey, Carol. Hello, Carol. I hope you're doing good tonight. Thank you for being here. I always like to tell everybody hi, and I sure hope I'm not missing anybody. Hello, Mama Bear. Good to see you. Good to see you, honey. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing very good. Very good, very good. Welcome in. You know, you're always welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see who we got. I think I'm almost at the bottom. There's Rogue. Hello, hello. Honey, I hope you're doing well. And we are making it at the bottom. Yay! We got it. We got it. Hello, hello. Love to you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. Y'all, time's passed. Time's up. It's up. Time has passed. Where is Nancy? Where is Nancy? All right, everyone. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Time has passed in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, and that alone is something that weighs heavy on all of our hearts. It weighs heavy on mine, and I know it weighs heavy on yours. Everybody's invested a lot of time and hours and minutes just in this last little bit over a week with her. We want her found. We want to know where she's at. Time has passed in the disappearance of Nancy. She's 84 years old. 84 years old. She's a mother, a grandmother, a friend. She's a human being. She's desperately missed. And as of right now, investigators, they continue to treat this as a serious crime because it is. But time has passed. So who's boss? Who is boss? It's time somebody show some bitches who the boss is. I know that they're working tirelessly and diligently. I know that. I know law enforcement is still following leads. They're still receiving evidence, and they're working every tip that comes in. And that's important. But cases like this don't just stop. How is it an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues cannot be found? How is it that you can get 3-4 ransom notes or bullshitters and nothing be done? It's outrageous. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was dropped off at her home outside Tucson, Arizona on the night of January 31st. She was reported missing about 11, somewhere between there and noon on February 1st, allegedly. It seems we still can't get nobody in the church to say that they called and who they called. You know, it's not real hard to figure out if anybody was called, who that would be. But who called? Who called? We're going to see different reports out here. You know, so where is she? The latest updates in this case. We wait, we hurry up and wait. I can only imagine what Savannah and people's going through. Savannah gave a new statement today. I know that y'all saw that. We're going to try to watch it again. Let me find it.
This nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt.
Thank you, darling.
Because
Thank
we
you
believe that
for all you do.
Somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation and we need your help. Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation and we need your help. Hi there, everybody.
Oh, I'm on mute. Sorry. We are in an hour of desperation and we need your help. Wow. Wow. I'm really glad she released that. I'm glad she released it. I do feel so sorry for her. My question now, and I apologize, is why hasn't Annie come out by herself? Cameron did. Savannah has. I'm really glad that she's come out. Very heartfelt. Very heartfelt. Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Savannah Gerthy's family video to was this a kidnap hint that they know more than they're letting on about? I think they do. I think they know more. This is news break. Thank you for that, Raymond. The disappearance, the body language experts claim they do know more. They're just worn out. Just worn out, in my opinion. I don't like this video right here. I'm just going to tell you, it seems staged. That's just my opinion. This is where they're dissecting Cameron's video. I haven't seen this actually. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We hadn't heard anything directly. We hadn't heard anything directly. It's been so much more out there, y'all, since then. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know if you have our mother. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact. You know, there never was contact, or was there? Or was there? She says he makes eye contact with the camera and at times raises his eyebrows. You know, so they believe he is open. And I believe that too. I don't believe he's telling a lie about anything, in my opinion. The eye contact suggests honesty. Yep. And we see him as away from side, sway from side to side, which is self-soothing. I don't see anything wrong with his video. I don't see anything wrong with him speaking. I don't see anything wrong with Savannah speaking. I don't see anything wrong with any of that. Because, sorry, I was double checking my phone was going off. Because you can tell. You can just tell. All right. I don't want to accuse anyone. I've tried not to through here, but I am so concerned as to why Annie hasn't spoke. I'm getting these really bad vibes now. I said, if you go back in my lives from day one, a lot of people, first of all, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But a lot of people want to bring up Tommaso, whatever his freaking name is, okay? And if the fingers point, let them fly where they may. But I said from day one, it not only was it a man, but it was also someone else, I believe, in my opinion. And I still believe that. I believe that. I believe it's more than one person. I don't think it's more than two. That's just my opinion. But I also think that Savannah, her brother, and half of the world may even be thinking the same. I could be wrong. Yep, there's definitely more than one. Definitely more than one. And I think they're going to weed them out. I think that they know. I think it's just a matter of time. Trying to get this off of here. I think it's just a matter of time, right? Hey, Roxy. You know, a lot of people saying that it don't matter, kidnapping, whatever. Something strange is going on here. But regardless, Nancy's hurt. Okay? Nancy's hurt. Somebody close to her took her or did something to her or with her. There might be certain things that could be staged or this, that, or the other, or strategic. But I don't think her missing is one of them. How in the hell? I thought I got this off a while ago. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, she's really gone. I mean, this is a real missing person case. Unless they've played it off real good. So no, she's hurt. She needs to be found. And we're going to get into all the medicine stuff here in a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I agree, Roxy. I agree. But Savannah said they're in an hour of desperation. Well, guess what? Time is up. Nancy is still gone. Even through that heartfelt video, even through the doors being open, even through, in my opinion, someone sitting there watching them struggle. So they're going to get more hours of desperation, and anyone with information needs to step forward, man up or woman up, or both, and step forward. She did not mention any ransom in this newest clip, but she focused on finding her mother and getting help from the public. I think she's desperate, and I would be too. That's why if I was Annie, wouldn't nobody shut me up. She looked not only zanned out, which is fine. I understand that. Hey, I'm out. Everybody coming in. It is sad, but I don't either. She just don't have no empathy, or I don't know. This is my opinion. I'm going to start to talk a little bit more about it now. It's pissing me off. Savannah, she emphasized that law enforcement is working around the clock and asked people everywhere, no matter if they were in Arizona or not, to report anything even slightly suspicious to law enforcement. She wants her mother found. In my opinion, there's no doubt. There's never been any doubt for me between her and her mother. That's just me, in my opinion, though. We believe our mom is still out there, she said in the video, and we need your help. She's begging for help. She thanked everyone. She told the world, we need your help. We need your help. This was, in my opinion, more heartfelt, but I don't think it's going to reach out and touch someone. I just don't. Not especially if it's from the inside. I unfortunately don't think it's going to reach out and touch someone. Not their heart. I don't think they have a damn heart. Whoever's causing all this hoovac, if they don't come forward, soon, the time's already gone as far as the ransom notes, then law enforcement needs to track this person down and make sure they lock them up and make a damn example out of them, a huge example. You want to talk about people going to court and the judge saying, I'm going to make an example out of you this time. This person or persons, and I don't care who they are, Lock them up and throw away the key forever. Take that key and make an example. I don't care who they are or who they come from or who they belong to. This is what you call wasted resources, people. I'm sorry. It's not wasted on Nancy, but the way things are being gone about, this is what people should be calling wasted resources. I'm sorry, but yeah, we would do anything to get our moms or our kids and you know, all those things. Annie needs to come out and speak, but that's my opinion. How long will Arizona allow this to go on? How many games will be played? I've been gone all day, but I've had enough time to sit here and get this live together, enough to hear, enough to see, enough to stew, enough to get my blood pressure up again. And after this, in my opinion, since none of this worked, somebody needs to go out and let people know who is in charge, who is boss, just like you would let your child know. And like I've always said, who's the parent here? Who is in control? They say, and I do believe, Ellie is working tirelessly. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. But who is in control? And why are they allowing all of this? That's the question. Why are they allowing this? And will they continue to allow this? When I know as good as damn well as I know what I know that they know. It will remain to be seen. Again, I ask, why has Annie not spoke by herself? I'm just curious. I'm just curious about that. What do y'all think? Do you think she should speak by herself? Do you think I'm being too hard? Do you think Annie's standing up for somebody close? Where is her husband? Why is he not with her this entire time? Let me guess, he's working out of town. Let me guess, he's in his band. Look, I know. Somebody stop calling me people. I know that law enforcement knows every move that everybody's making and everywhere that they're at. But I think, in my opinion, that Annie needs to be the one screaming from the rooftops. She lived by her mother. They lived by her mom with her child or children 24/7 down the road. They was the last ones to see Miss Nancy. And guess what? Allegedly, it's out there. I did see it with my own eyes. Allegedly, the imposter that don't deserve the breath to have his name put out there anymore, in my opinion, and I refuse to say it. And Annie was tagged in it. It was said that they were contacted and that person had the proof. I would be scared too. I would be scared too. I'm not saying she's done anything. but I still don't feel good about that situation or her situation. And I think they all know more. And if they do, they need to spit it out. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just telling y'all, she's not shy, okay? But we don't know when this happens to us. We probably wouldn't feel like talking either. But they sound so robotic. And I know they were having help. And people are starting to point that out. And people starting to get the wrong idea, I think. People starting to think this is a hoax. And unless it's the biggest hoax in America, and that could be true, that is not the case. We have a woman out there that, unless police are in on this and everybody else, and I don't think so, she's hurt. She cannot continue to go on without her medications. She cannot. This was her blood, 100%. Did somebody do this to embarrass Savannah? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But people are really starting to wonder. I pray none of the family had anything to do with anything, but whoever did, are they going to get away with their part in this? That's what I want to know. Are they going to get away with their part in this? For God's sakes, we got the President of the United States involved. We have Kash Patel there in Arizona. I was reading that. Yeah, she just isn't evidently, but she's not shy. She's not, or she couldn't be married to who she was married to, in my opinion. She's not shy. But I pray none of the family has anything to do with it. I pray don't anybody know anything that helps Nancy. Hold on, something's coming through. Okay, TMZ's just putting out that Nancy's alleged ransom account, which I don't know how they got the account numbers, but anyway, they got their way. Believe me, TMZ, you thought JLR jumped out of the bushes and back in the day. No, TMZ is on top of everything and on top of everybody. They always have been. So how they get this crap, I don't know, but they are putting out that the account remains empty. What I hope is we do not see any more shenanigans going on about no freaking ransom notes. That's what I hope. I want the law to put their foot down and trace and find who's doing that. And they may already know, in my opinion. They may already know. I mean, what is this, y'all? Is this a new trend out here in the world? Playbooks to go by for the world to go by to know how to get away with crimes like this? I mean, I really want to know. I really want to know. Our technology and everything that we have to this day should not carry on any cases over 2 or 3 days at the very least, especially a high-profile case like this. I'm very tired of this stuff. I'm sick and I'm tired of it. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. Y'all can be sick and tired of it or sit there or want it to come in all you want to, but I'm tired of it. Who's boss? Who's boss? I still want to know who called from that church. We can't verify that. We can't, because according to Brian Eden, which we'll see here in a few minutes. Nobody knows. Nobody's figured that out yet. Nobody's come to claim that. Brian says he talked to the preacher. And it is true. I don't know if it was a troll in here the other day or not, but the preacher told Brian, according to Brian, and we'll see that in a few minutes, that she had not physically been in church since the COVID. So who's telling the truth? The preacher man? I don't know. I'm not going to say I put my 100% stock in a preacher just because they're a preacher. Hell, look, we got preachers' wives. We got, we got people that's supposed to help people and love people and this, that, and the other. It just don't happen. Hi, Dubs. And that's the thing, Kelly. They need to clear or not clear. This is too high profile to not worry about it. Hey, Chuchi, hello, come on in. Welcome. But where's Miss Nancy? And according to Brian, nobody knows. Savannah said, we believe our mom is still alive. And I just heard right before I come on here that, and I may or may not have got it. I don't know. I've got so many tabs up here. It's pathetic. That said, they believe she got proof of life. We don't know what to believe. You can't trust nobody, that's for sure. But of course they want to believe their mom is alive, and I understand. More than you think. We're going to watch a couple videos, and what I want to talk about, because I want to know what makes them believe this, if it has been no life-saving medication for Nancy. And we're going to get into all that in just a minute. But first, I want to watch a couple more videos. Thank you for being here, everybody. Please hit that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Do all the free things. I love you very much. Thank you for being here.
Checking out my show, really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. I've been seeing all your messages. Thank you so much. Please click to subscribe. Of course, I'm still here in Arizona, in Tucson, outside Nancy Guthrie's house. The mystery just seems to deepen. I mean, there's a lot of everybody's asking me. I mean, friends who I haven't heard from in like years are texting me, what's going on with the case? I mean, my mom is texting me constantly. What do you know that we don't know? I mean, honestly, it's still very mysterious about what is actually going on behind the scenes and what police may know and what they may not know. And is there a possibility that police literally don't know anything and that they're following up on different leads, but they have nothing concrete? That is possible, especially after what Savannah Guthrie said in her latest video that she just posted to Instagram, asking the public for help. Listen to what Savannah said.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock, trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
So pretty clear that Savannah is saying that they still need help finding Nancy. And she said, we are in an hour of desperation and we need your help. She said it several times. We need your help. And it seemed more genuine, should I say? I mean, not that Savannah's ever not genuine, but, you know, you could tell that some of those first videos that looked almost more like hostage videos with her and her siblings.
Why does that credit keep going down? Does anybody know? Does anybody freaking know? I know y'all are not going to make me take moderators away. Why does that keep going down? Full credit goes to Brian Eaton. And look at that. You see that? See? I'll check it out soon. Millie, can you check that out for me, please? That is not freaking normal. That is not normal. We're going to carry on.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way.
If anything looks fishy, please just get rid of
This is
them.
very valuable to us, and we will pay.
So that was clearly, or at least appears to be, Savannah reacting to the second note that came in. And now the tone seems to have changed again, which makes me wonder, is there a possibility, and I think there is a possibility, that these ransom notes are unrelated to what's really going on here, that these ransom notes are just some jerk somewhere trying to extort money out of the Guthries, and that what really happened to Nancy may have nothing to do with whoever's writing the ransom letters. I think that is a possibility based on everything that I'm hearing. I don't think that that's for sure. They wouldn't have made Savannah create those emotional videos if they didn't believe that there was a possibility that those letters were legit. But just based on Savannah's most recent video, asking the public for help, it makes me wonder, based on all these other things that I know, if the ransom letters have nothing to do with the actual disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And they still may. They still may. So
yeah, his
little backtrack of what happened over the weekend. If you missed my previous episode, then I'm going to get into Steve where the real news stuff is. But over the weekend, Friday night, we of course saw the big FBI search here at the house where they closed the roads. Saturday night, we saw the 3 deputies show up to Savannah Guthrie. Savannah's sister's house, Annie Guthrie, showed up there late at night. We're there for 3 hours taking pictures inside the house. And what I'm going to ask Steve about, which is so interesting, is now NBC News is reporting that the Guthrie family consented to that search at Annie's house. We went to the courthouse looking for the warrants related to that, and we were told there are no warrants. Now, could they just be sealed? Sorry, this is my IFB, by the way, for my TV job, if you're wondering what that is, hanging by my neck, which is how you like listen to the anchors. But we were told there were no warrants, and you're going to hear Steve explain it, but it's unusual if there was, if they were really suspicious of something that happened at Annie Guthrie's house, that they would just go with consent and not also get a warrant. And Steve will explain why. I'm joined now by Steve Moore, retired FBI agent. We've been talking about this case a lot for the last, week, and I can't believe it's now more than a week, Steve. And we've got this deadline, the second deadline, and I've learned the first deadline of last Thursday was for $4 million. This deadline, they said $6 million. What do you think is happening right now? I mean, that's what everybody. It's quiet right now. What do you think is going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's only quiet where you're standing, because somewhere they are getting ready to prepare, getting ready to transmit a ransom. and this is going to be tough because you have to come up with $6 million cash. Doesn't matter how much you're worth. I mean, most people who are wealthy have their money invested or tied up in assets, things like that.
They must be,
It's going to
Carol.
take a lot of work to free up $6 million and then get it into a means to transmit it to Bitcoin. So there is a lot of work going on, and the FBI is also preparing for the payment of, and a lot's going on.
The FBI special agent in charge made clear the other day that, at the end of the day, it's up to the family whether they pay the ransom and whether they release these messages, and they guide them, but it's their decision.
Right.
If you were working the case and working with them, I mean, what would you be telling them right now behind the scenes?
I would be like the agent in charge there, telling him it's your decision. I would be, however, giving them my every bit of the wisdom that I had, every bit of the experience I had, and giving them advice based on that, not binding advice, obviously. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And those things are going to affect what the FBI is going to recommend. I don't see any indication here of any divide between the FBI and the family, which is always a risk.
That's why I think
the FBI says if you do this, if you don't pay, or if you do pay, it's the worst possible scenario. And the family says, I'm going to do opposite because I just have a feeling, or I'm going to pay because I don't, and this is legitimate, I don't want to go to my deathbed thinking I didn't pay, and that might have been the reason that we never saw her again.
Do you think, though, they're advising them to pay? I mean, at the end of the day, are they saying, yeah, you should pay?
Only because I see that there appears to be no division. So the fact that the Guthries have said they're going to pay, and there's been no inkling of any disagreement on law enforcement's part, that would tell me that the totality of the circumstances is telling the Bureau that it would be wiser to pay at this point. I'm kind of like the play-by-play at a football game. I'm telling you what I can't tell you what play I'd call because I don't see the defense. But I can tell you that what I'm seeing is they've decided that the best play is to pay the ransom.
And if they pay, could that help the FBI in any way? Like, you always hear that it's not traceable with Bitcoin, but does it open up another avenue to at least investigate?
Yeah, no, it's not true that it's not traceable. The FBI in some of these malware scams where they hold companies hostage to get their data back, the FBI's gotten something like $23 billion back from Bitcoin, and it gives them opportunities. I mean, they go in and they find a company or a scam artist who's doing this. They will frequently go in and take everything. So the FBI is not unable for your double negative day. They are not unable to recover money here, but there are some very specific things that they need to do and to make this happen. And those things have to be in place. And again, I would say that they're delivering the ransom, even electronically, gives the Bureau more information and more of a chance to catch somebody than by millions of miles than by not paying.
Sorry.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just, hey, Allison, can you go on mute?
Sorry, I'm in the courthouse.
It's okay, I figured. What's the other thing I was going to ask? Let me just get back to my train of thought. So did you see, you saw Savannah's last message where she said,
Yes.
We've received your message and we understand and we will pay. What did you make of that? Because there are different theories floating around. There was a message in the second note that came on Friday that I am told, was not necessarily positive. Do you think she means that we want our mother's, remains back at this point?
Well, there's some things that she said in that we understand, and
give up. We
this
gotta
is
go.
the only way we can have peace, and we want her back so we can celebrate. These are not things that you say when somebody says we've got him. Here's your mother. She says, she's scared but fine. This kind of stuff. A family who had just gotten proof of life would almost certainly say, please tell her we love her, that we are going to pay, we are going to get her back. Please, if there's any way you can get her medicines to her or make sure.
That I agree. I think it would have been more personal and more heartfelt if they really deep down in their heart believed she was alive, or if they got proof of life and they thought it was real and not AI, because they would be begging, for her medicines, which again, we're going to get into here shortly. But he's making a lot of sense, Sherry. I just think it would have been more personal. So I don't know. It's scary. It is a scary thing.
She's okay until this goes through. I heard none of that. And so I don't know, obviously, any more than anybody else on this side of law enforcement, what was in that note. But I think it's possible that there's something more that they know that we don't.
What do you think is going on behind the scenes with, like, for example, today, nothing has really happened to the house today, but yesterday they came out and they were looking in a septic tank. Friday night, they towed Nancy's car and were searching the house. Saturday night, I was at Annie's house and deputies came and were photographing the inside of the house. What I'm struggling with is wondering, are they just covering all their bases? And is this almost like a cold case? And like, there's just someone sitting in a room thinking, what have we not checked off yet? We need to be trying everything. Or are all of these things deliberate based on information that they have? And, this is all kind of like, they're working towards one goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you hit it right on the head, Brian. I had lots of cold cases. When you're in the bureau, the newest agent gets the cold case, and it's a 30-year murder or something like that, because everybody's tired of working it. But a kidnapping case with a victim outstanding goes cold in days, not years. And so I believe that what happened is this, that in the initial rush, when it was being run by Pima County, and by the way, I'm not criticizing anything they did, they had a very short window where they could get in that 24 to 48 hours, a quick return, and they had to jump on this. So it can take 24 hours to process a crime scene. You don't have that time. So they went in and they got the evidence they could get as quickly as they could get, the most obvious evidence they could get, and proceeded with it. So now, 8 days down the road, the FBI seems to have taken over main control of the case, which they should, not because Pima isn't competent, but because FBI has thousands of agents and an entire science lab they can pop on this case. And so what the FBI has done is say, okay, at the beginning, we just had to, just bam through this whole thing. Now it's getting a little cool, and we have to go back and retrace all the steps, find anything we might have missed. And so they sent the evidence response team, which is SpaceX of evidence gathering and crime scenes. So said start at the beginning, and they do things like I've seen them operate when I was in the FBI, and it was astounding. They bring surveying equipment in, like property surveyors, and they come up with millimeter dimensions of the pool to the house to this corner, and they accurately reproduce the house and the land electronically, and then every bit of evidence is geo-referenced in what they're doing. It's just astounding. So what I see is them coming in and absolutely creating a record from the beginning.
We have a producer. I was actually just texting with her, Allison, your friend, our friend, who's at the courthouse and is telling me that that there's no warrants available. And there's been a lot of action. I mean, they've been at the house 3 times now. They were at Annie's house, the sister.
No
Do you think
warrants
that means
available.
that that they're sealed, or would they need warrants for all of these things that we've seen happening?
No, they would not necessarily need warrants. If they're sealed, I think there might be indications of a sealed warrant. But the fact that they're getting voluntary compliance, and they're not seeking a warrant. There were times when they'd say, yeah, come search the house. We get a warrant anyway, because the person was a suspect. And we know that if we eventually arrest them, they'll say, oh, I never said that. So what this means to me is they're somewhat confident that they have legitimate access to the house that is not going to be attempted, that nobody's going to attempt to rescind in court, which means they don't view people as suspects in this case.
All right, there you go. He's saying that this is showing that there don't seem to be suspects in this case. So y'all can make your own conclusion out of that. Is this strategic? I don't know. I really don't know. But I do like this guy. I really do like this guy. Again, I think they know a lot more than they're saying, of course. But again, I want to know what makes them or the family believe she's still alive with no life-saving medication for Nancy. That is my huge question, because Nancy was 84 years old. We know she had a pacemaker, heart problems, was on life-saving medications. And life-saving medications does not mean just limited to her heart. I was thinking today of all the medications, that people take. They don't necessarily mean just one. It could be insulin or anything like that, heart meds, anything that requires a prescription or supervision. But it must be prescribed to you by a licensed healthcare provider, and they must say that it's life-saving. There's a reason that they tell you it needs to be taken exactly as directed, every dose, every schedule. You need regular follow-ups. Even I still have to get monitored to this day with my heart. So there still has to be follow-ups. And we do know she's 84 years old. Her body is not going to bounce back like anybody else's. Your medication has to be available at all times. You got to be able to refill them, get them ordered before you run out. Why do you think when they have these snowstorms, ice storms, hurricanes, they tell you, get all of your medications, get your ducks in a row? Hey, Val, good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, down the rabbit hole. Absolutely. I know, honey. Absolutely. Yep. But medications must be ordered before running out, and you have to have your backup there. This is an emergency. And how do we know she wasn't on oxygen? I always worry about people who may be on oxygen. How do they know? The church, nobody's seen her at the church for however long. I'm just saying. I don't know if this is the one Brian does that or not, or it might be the next one. I think it's the next one. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is an emergency. Nancy, did she have a backup prescription? Did they have one ever on hand from long ago? But here's the thing. Again, anybody can order these medications online. Nowadays, you can order anything online. Hell, if you can order real drugs like narcotics and get them in your mailbox, you can get whatever you want. I mean, at the very same time, in order for them to even work or have strength to maintain working their magic, let's say, and keeping the people alive, they got to be stored correctly. And there are expiration dates. Millie can probably explain to y'all what happens. It's okay if some things expire. It's all right. You're not going to die from them expiring. Just like people throw out food all the time. That's crazy. You're not going to. How long have y'all stored up on canned goods? I had somebody the other day say, this is why I always look at canned goods because blah, 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 blah. Okay. Keep throwing out that food. It don't always mean you need to throw out the medications, but they do need to be kept. Some need to be kept refrigerated. Some need to be kept warm, and then look, we got the weather there in Arizona. That makes a difference as well. Unless somebody's got her stored up in a nice, cozy home. And by all means, this woman is hurt. This woman is hurt. So you got to keep it in the original label container, and you got to protect some things from light. And some of that is required, and especially in Arizona. And from what I see out there, people are getting hot. Their phones are getting hot. Yeah. Yeah, there's some things. And some things that you have a long time is if you can take it, it's better than having nothing. It really is. But I wonder, did she have an emergency, whatever she needed? Because she could have more than one medicine, and it may not even have to do with the heart. It may not even have to do with the heart. Hello, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here, everybody. But you got all your clear instructions and everything. So did somebody, they say her mind's very clear, but did somebody help her with her medications? Is there somebody they're not talking about? There has to be, when you have a life-saving illness, there has to be emergency planning for different things. It just has to. There has to be instructions on what to do if a dose is missed or distress happens. It needs to be recognized early. Those type of things. So what is going on here? I don't know. Let's watch some more of this.
And I know you only have limited information, and we all only have limited information on the outside, but with your gut, do you think this kidnapping element is real? Or do you think this is sort of just a sideshow and they're working a whole different investigation here?
I think that's possible. I'm not putting it as my number one possibility, but they may know more than me.
Absolutely. EpiPen.
Certainly going back to the evidence, and they are certainly considering the possibility that the kidnapping was that was a plan B. Because it took a while to get that ransom note. Usually, it took past, the most valuable hours of investigation before we even got a ransom note. So it's possible that they were attempting something else and are turning it into a ransom to cover up something. It's kind of possible that it could have been a residential burglary gone bad. But in that case, I don't see residential burglars having the wherewithal to come up with a complicated kidnapping plot.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, is the ransom, are these notes totally separate, like someone, overseas just trying to scam money out of the Guthries, and could it have nothing to do with
I
Nancy
think
Guthrie's
so. It probably
disappearance?
surprised the person that did this.
It's possible, but I don't think the FBI would
Thank you,
go with that.
Raymond.
They have to have provided the FBI with something that would indicate
Whoever got that
that
membership,
that they
welcome.
know what's going on in that house.
Right. Yeah, I've thought about that too. Why would you put Savannah and her family through that if you just
Right.
were secretly working a whole nother, and unless they
Welcome,
just
ma'am.
don't know,
Thank
and you
you,
have to
ma'am.
really suss out both options. Is that
Yeah.
possible?
It's possible. I don't think it's probable. You don't send $6 million on a hunch. I just don't think that's
what
the
I'm
case.
thinking.
I
Okay?
see more.
And I'm wondering if Savannah is, especially Savannah, okay? I'm wondering if she's holding out hope that, above all hope, that she will get, that if somebody, even if they're trying, she's just trying to hold on, I feel like, to every little thing. And that's natural, in my opinion. It could be anything. And she wants that so bad. She wants her mom back. That's just me thinking that. But that's just me. But yeah, I think it's very possible. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Communication back and forth. You haven't provided us with enough. We're not going to send you $6 million when you can't even prove you're related to this. So I believe they've gotten some information that has convinced them.
The other thing, though, is if you're Savannah and you have the money, and maybe they haven't given any proof of life or given any additional communication, but it's your own mom, how do you not just send the money? You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. I get that. People have to make these hard decisions. And
put a 1 in the chat if you had the money. And money was no object. Would y'all pay a ransom? Put a 1 in the chat if you would, and put a 2 in the chat if you would not. If it was your mom, would you pay a ransom if you had that unlimited amount of cash? I would. I know I would do anything. But again, this is not the movies. Leslie said no. See, I'm probably, if I put myself in the family shoes at that point, either not going to care. I guess it depends on how much you care about money, but I'm not going to care. I'm going to pay it. It's probably took them all they could to sit on their hands. But but Carol said not without proof. Yeah, I definitely would want proof. Absolutely would want proof, hands down. Because especially with them Bitcoins, okay? Because even if they can trace them, it's going to be a long time. It'll be a long time. And how are they going to get that? I don't understand. I don't personally understand how they're going to do that with so much. I think they're idiots. I just do.
And I think in that case, though, that if the FBI was not convinced that these people were the legitimate kidnappers, that the FBI would probably recommend not sending the money. And frankly, Savannah's had a lot of dealing with law enforcement over her career. She's covered so many criminal cases. I would suspect, and I suspect, that she has enough confidence in the FBI that she is going to follow their recommendations.
Yeah. And we know that they've been there helping her craft the messages. And the last one was just, it was so interesting. We've received your message. We understand. it was almost like I'm sure there's a whole science behind this, but like almost trying to be sympathetic to the kidnapper in a way. That was the
There
vibe that
is.
I got. Like you're trying to like, you know, we don't think you're the devil kind of thing.
Right. There is
Exactly, because it's
an
definitely not gonna
absolute
work like
science
that.
behind this, and accurate and a pretty useful. So there was not a word in that statement that was unnecessary, that was superfluous, that wasn't considered. That note was as carefully crafted as a crossword puzzle. Every single word and the number of words and the tone, everything. I mean, there's a reason besides notoriety that Savannah's reading this. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're reading. Like she looks down in pretty much every video, so it's obviously she's trying to stick to the specific words.
Right.
Just back to something else from Saturday night when I was out at Annie Guthrie's. The 3 deputies showed up, blue gloves. They went in. It was very low key. Like it wasn't like they weren't FBI. There was a security guard there, hired by the Guthries, who seemed to know they were coming, let the 3 deputies right through. And we've since learned that it was consensual, that, the family knew they were coming. And the blinds were down, but we could see flashes from inside. So they were taking pictures inside the house for about 3 hours. This is, again, Annie Guthrie's house. So Nancy's other daughter. Should we be reading into that? As in, a lot of people are questioning whether someone in the family was involved, or is that just standard protocol? And is that just someone behind the scenes saying, oh, we never got pictures inside the house and that's where she was Saturday night? We should just do that regardless. Like we should have that no matter what.
Yeah. I don't see how that would happen. I think, see, if the FBI is going to take this case federally, it would mean that anybody who collected evidence would have to testify. And so if the Bureau needed those pictures or whatever was in that house, they would have sent FBI agents so that everybody in the same organization is on the same page and they're all testifying. So I don't think that was what you would consider crucial information. But at the same time, it indicates the second time they've been in Annie's house. And, I'm not saying Annie or her husband had anything to do with this, but it's possible that they had people working in their house that might have been involved. Think about this. Annie was responsible for, essentially, she lived closest. So of the family members, she was right there where she could take care of her mom, and she had knowledge of the house. She had all the information about getting into the house, their timing and things like that. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
See, I still think it was an inside job and somebody close to them knew, but he's right. What if it was somebody that Annie hired or Annie gave the code? You know what I'm saying? And, even if it was a year ago and they didn't work there anymore for whatever reason, we just don't know. But it does worry me that Nancy herself wanted to either upgrade or update the cameras or better cameras or get cameras before this happened. So, yeah, that's very strange to me. But I do think it's somebody from the inside. I don't think the sheriff should have released the crime. I don't either. I agree with you 1,000,000% there. Once they called it a crime scene, and that's what makes me so mad. Once they called it a crime scene and there was blood and they identified that was her blood and all the things, they already knew what it looked like. Even we don't know on the inside out. Okay. They knew everything. Listen, they should have never. I think that they've really screwed that up. And I think that when people are caught, I think that, I agree with you, Mike. I think that when people are caught, I think that, when it goes to court, there's absolutely going to be some things thrown out. Just mark my words on that. I mean, it doesn't matter where we think we're at now in the twilight zone. This is the real world, and there are still laws. And unfortunately, even criminals have freaking rights. And I guarantee you, they're going to have the best of the best attorneys, no matter who it is, and no matter if it's family, the SIL or not. It's not going to matter. There's going to be things thrown out because that house was turned back over. Mark my words. I told y'all yesterday, we're going to see the money talk and the bullshit walk or whatever. We're gonna mark my words. We'll see then.
That somebody who had been in Annie's house could be a suspect, and that would mean photographs were being taken.
So it might not be Annie's husband or Annie, but it could just be they're interested in someone who was just at the house.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or even what happened that night. Was there, doing background on Nancy that night? Was she in good health? Things like that. There's so many things it could be, but I would lean, if it has anything, obviously it has something to do with the kidnapping, but I would lean towards the fact that it's not necessarily Annie or her husband. I would think more along the lines of domestic help, handyman, things like that.
So NBC News is reporting that the family consented to the sheriff's office showing up and doing whatever they were doing in the house with the camera flashes. Would they still, is there a difference between consent and a warrant? Would they have gotten a warrant if it was more serious?
Well, here's the thing. If you are searching somebody's house, is potentially a suspect, and they give you consent to search, a good lawyer will always try to get that consent revoked at trial. They'll say, oh, they didn't tell us what they were searching for. They didn't tell us we were suspects. There's so many things that they could bring up and say, we would never have consented had we known, blah, 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 blah. And so you tend to, those type of searches become extremely vulnerable. So I would never, at a suspect's house, except in exigent circumstances, accept a consent search without a warrant. And once I started searching, I would have people at the courthouse finding a magistrate to get a search warrant.
That is so interesting, and really, really important, I think, because I hadn't thought of that, and that really adds something. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, she's 84 years old, Nancy. Everybody with older parents knows you have a lot of people that start helping. You've got healthcare aides, and you've got, housekeepers and pool people, whatever. She's got a really nice house. I'm sure there's a lot of maintenance. Do you think they're looking into all of those people?
Absolutely. Every single person who's been in that house for the last 5 years is going to be looked at. This is why the FBI is so important. They can get so many resources in there to just track these down. And I've got to tell you, I remember maybe the last 5 kidnappings on which I did something, surveillance, SWAT arrest, or whatever it was, or investigative work. Every single one of them was somebody who had either been known to the family or in most cases had been in the family's house. So if they didn't know Nancy, it would surprise me.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Steve, as always. You're so helpful.
So I'm like him. If they did not know Nancy, it's going to surprise me, because even if it's not family, and I pray to God it's not, I'm not accusing anyone. Let's get that straight. We're talking our thoughts, our opinions, and unfortunately, public opinion is not always the greatest. But listen, I would be surprised if it's not. And I'm so glad he said they go back at least 5 years. For all we know, it could be somebody 10 years ago. She's been there. I don't know if she's been in that same house, but she's been there for 5 decades. She's originally from Kentucky. So all you sweet people up in Kentucky, you know, that's where she's originally from. And it's just sad, man. All this is sad. But if someone depends on life-saving medications and cannot manage it themselves, caregivers have to be checked out. You know, because it's their responsibility, no matter if it's family or hired help, ensuring that the doses are given on time, monitoring side effects, seeking medical help if medication is refused or missed. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. And I've been on both ends of the stick. So I'm telling y'all the truth there. In some cases, you know, if you don't provide that, you know, the right stuff, the medication can be considered neglect and all that as well. So I think Nancy, if you just by looking at her, you know, she had mobility problems, is what we're being told at least. She had a good brain, a good mind. You know, she was a beautiful lady, well kept, clean. I don't think she was neglected. I don't think that at all. I really don't, in my opinion. I don't think she was neglected. But I don't think this was just something somebody come in there and on a whim and did. Yes, she's been in that house since the 70s, Dee. Absolutely. No forced entry. Absolutely. No forced entry. None of this makes any sense. No forced entry. But, you know, now, you know, her mind was fine. But we're told from day one she's on life-saving medications. She needed these to survive. So has something changed? We won't know. One thing, you already heard the sheriff the other day bring up HIPAA law, right? They're going to use that as an excuse not to say. Thank you so much, Mama, for being here and your support. I really appreciate you, and I thank you so much. Thank you. You are much loved and you are much appreciated. Cassie, hello. You would think, hi, if she had life alert as well, 41 minutes, they would be in her house. Exactly. You would think maybe she had some kind of life alert or something, but see, we don't know. I mean, what are they calling life-sustaining medications? We know because they've come out themselves. The sheriff has. We know she's had a pacemaker or had a pacemaker. We know that. So what other things is going on there? You know, has something changed? She's being denied access to her medication. So what we don't know is what medication she was on. And we're never going, I'm telling y'all, we're never going to know that. We can guess until the cows come home. But it's supposed to be life-saving medication specifically for her to live, is what we was told in the very beginning. What's changed? You know, we know she has the heart problems, you know. So if she don't have, I can speak on this, if she don't have heart meds, well, one thing, she's going to have very high blood pressure and dangerously high spikes in blood pressure. And it's going to cause her to have strokes or heart attacks, or, you know, even from those things, she can be paralyzed. She's already less mobile. Anybody who don't take any medication and gets jerked off of it, they're liable to have seizures. Yes, you can die from those. If you just stop all medications, but all this, irregular heartbeats, we know she had this pacemaker, and that's not good. When this happens to somebody like this, and they don't have their medicine, especially as old as she is, those effects can start happening within 24 to 72 hours. Now, we hear all the time, start this medication. It's going to take, it'll take at least 10 to 14 days for it all to regulate and all that. Okay. But guess what? If you don't have your medications, even regular medications, for somebody like her, 24 hours, 72 hours, especially in older adults, an 84-year-old lady, her body, it just don't have the things somebody 10 years younger does, or 5 years younger, or even that year younger. Y'all don't realize what you're doing to yourself and your bodies. At 84 years old, sudden changes is going to be real hard for her, and it's going to hit her real fast. And that's my opinion. So she's been missing since January 31st. This is bad news, people. That's bad news. That's not good news. That's bad news. It's definitely, if she didn't have her medicine, or somebody didn't take her medicine, or she didn't have a stored up medicine and she's not being taken care of, she's definitely, at the very least, out there for a seizure, stroke, and heart attack, at the very least. And that brings on cardiac arrest, which can kill you just like that. Bye. We know she had the pacemaker. I don't have to keep saying that. Laws already provided that information, HIPAA or no HIPAA. Right? So, something else. If it's a blood thinner, oh my God, that's just as worrisome. We don't know what medication she was on. This is just going down the medication rabbit hole, okay? But you can have more than one life-sustaining medication. I know. You can't tell me something I don't know when I know it. It don't need to make me a professional. Some people just have that experience. But if it's a blood thinner, and even if it was a blood thinner alone, and yeah, she might be off of it. Some people have to take them the rest of their life. But stopping a blood thinner early can also cause strokes, blood clots. One thing you don't want is blood clots. They can go straight to your heart and kill you. Now, risk increase over several days, but in high-risk patients, it can be sooner. If it's for heart failure, Lasix. I take Lasix. I don't take them all the time like I'm supposed to, but I do. I'm supposed to, but I can tell a difference when I don't. You get that fluid built up. You have to start watching everything. 5 pounds here, 5 pounds there. Watch what you drink. Don't drink so much. It's very important. And there's others out there too, those type of medications. But if you don't have that, guess what? Again, that fluid can build up in your lungs. It can go in your lungs and it can be fatal. It definitely puts a strain on your heart anytime you're not taking the medications and you're taking them correctly and like you're supposed to. It puts a strain on your heart. Your heart is a muscle that will give out. The heart and organs are more fragile, especially if you're dehydrated. She lost a lot of blood, or even with stress. It hits harder. Complications happen. I don't think this does anything, in my opinion, but look bleak. So I want to know, again, did they have proof of life? Did they get proof of life? Or are they just holding on to hope? There's always hope. There's always hope. But see, now, and I'm speaking for real. I'm just being raw with y'all. We need action. The deadline, the time has come. It's up. Time's up. One, whether fake or imposter or whatever, has been arrested. One ransom note's gone, timeline, deadline. The second one's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's over. It's done. There still is no Nancy. So now we need action. We need the sheriff to put his money where his mouth is, and the FBI. Do I think they're working? Yes, I do. But why work in circles and make it so hard on yourself? Who's boss? Who's leading this? Where is Nancy? How long is this going to go on? Because, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one in the whole wide world that wants to know this. I hope there's no more random notes or ransom notes or any of that BS. I hope there's no more, because they know, in my opinion, I don't care who gets up here and who says what, they know. And I think they're waiting either to find Nancy, or they're waiting on other testing to come in. And that's why, unless there's been a press conference since I've been talking, that's why I think they're pushing off the press conference. They're waiting. They're trying to buy more time. How much longer can this continue? How much longer is somebody going to go free? I don't care who it is. Show them who's boss. This is madness. This is becoming a circus. This is becoming a circus. Let's play something else.
Picture. I mean, he has not been in any of the videos. Has he been seen at all, Brian?
He hasn't been seen since, I think it was Tuesday of last week. We got some photos of him outside the house here. He's very recognizable with this big beard. And he was outside with his wife, Savannah's sister, Annie, and they were in the car together. But it's now been almost a week. And something else interesting, you mentioned how they the authorities went and retrieved the surveillance video from the gas station, and that they were looking for someone. That gas station is a Circle K, and it's right around the corner from Annie's house. It's not close to Nancy's house. It's right around the corner from Annie's house. And it's where it's positioned is where you would have to drive to go from Nancy's house to Annie's house, which I think is really interesting. It's literally like 1 minute away from here.
A very serious look at him. And he's been out of the picture. I mean, he has not been in any of the videos. Has he been seen at all, Brian?
He hasn't been seen since, I think it was Tuesday of last week. We got some photos of him outside the house here. He's very recognizable with this big beard. And he was outside with his wife, Savannah's sister, Annie, and they were in the car together. But it's now been almost a week. And something else interesting, you mentioned how they the authorities went and retrieved the surveillance video from the gas station and that they were looking for someone. That gas station is a Circle K, and it's right around the corner from Annie's house. It's not close to Nancy's house. It's right around the corner from Annie's house. And it's where it's positioned is where you would have to drive to go from Nancy's house to Annie's house, which I think is really interesting. It's literally like 1 minute away from here.
I agree.
A very serious look at him. And he's been out of the picture. I mean, he has not been in any of the videos. Has he been seen at all, Brian?
He hasn't been seen since I think it was Tuesday of last week. We got some photos of him outside the house here. He's very recognizable with this big beard. And he was outside with his wife, Savannah's sister, Annie, and they were in the car together. But it's now been almost a week. And something else interesting, you mentioned how they the authorities went and retrieved the surveillance video from the gas station and that they were looking for someone. That gas station is a Circle K, and it's right around the corner from Annie's house. It's not close to Nancy's house. It's right around the corner from Annie's house. And it's where it's positioned is where you would have to drive to go from Nancy's house to Annie's house, which I think is really interesting. It's literally like 1 minute away from.
I want to know what I did with the freaking, I want y'all to hear the one about the church. That's the one I want you to hear. Just hold on a minute.
Moments ago, President Donald J. Trump truthed out this, quote, "I spoke with Savannah Guthrie. I let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the family and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. The prayers of our nation are with her and her family. God bless and protect Nancy." President Donald J. Trump. You're now at the very latest in Arizona tonight. Our very own Jonathan Hunt. Okay. I'm hearing this is proof of life. That's what I'm hearing for any potential person that might be holding her for ransom.
Listen, y'all.
What are you hearing out there where you are?
Yeah, clearly the family in that gut-wrenching video are hinting, at the very least, or hinting very strongly that there is a kidnapping situation here. Although Savannah Guthrie started that part of the video saying, "We are aware of the media reports about a ransom note," but then she's appeared to directly address a potential kidnapper, saying, Sean, "We are ready to talk, but we need to know with absolute certainty that she," meaning Nancy Guthrie, "is alive." And then she said, "and that you have her." So that is a direct request to any kidnapper or kidnappers out there that they want to see proof of life. This has come at the end of what has already been an extraordinarily busy evening in this investigation, Sean. Just a few hours ago, we had a couple of very active scenes. We can put both of those up on screen for you. Screen left. That is Nancy Guthrie's home. And a few hours ago, after 24 hours after the sheriff declared it a closed crime scene and that they were done with it, handing it back to the Guthrie family, suddenly a whole phalanx of law enforcement agents showed up there. They included sheriff's deputies, they included Border Patrol agents with K-9 units, and they included FBI agents. And once again, they appeared to be going through the house, the garage, and the surrounding area very closely, looking at everything that they could once again. So they're looking at those two scenes. The other scene you see on screen at the top of this of your picture there, the top right, that is Annie Guthrie's home. And a few hours ago, federal agents showed up at that home. That is Annie Guthrie, Savannah's sister, the other daughter of Nancy Guthrie. Federal agents showed up there. They went into the home. At one point, a couple of the agents brought something out, put it into their SUV, and then went back into the home. So we had no idea what was going on there, why they were at Annie Guthrie's home, but it may now be that they were there to help coach the family through the recording of this Instagram video that we have now seen. Annie Guthrie, by the way, shares that home with her husband, Tommaso, Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law. We believe that Annie and her husband, Tommaso, are the people that the sheriff is referring to and has been referring to when he says family members told us they dropped Nancy Guthrie off at her home at around 9:30 on Saturday. So a lot of moving parts here tonight, Sean, but I think the headline obviously is that gut-wrenching video. You watch Savannah Guthrie alongside Annie and their brother Cameron just pleading directly to their mother, stay strong. You will come home to us. They described her, of course, as goodness and light. Both Annie and Savannah use that word particularly, that she is the light of their lives. In Savannah's words, Nancy Guthrie, the mom, is our hearts and our home. It was really, really tough to watch, Sean. But also, we were saying earlier on air, Sean, that in these circumstances, very often, if there is a missing family member, quite early on, you see other family members in front of the cameras saying, please, if you have our loved one, please bring her home to us or bring that person home to us. It had struck me over the last couple of days that it was slightly unusual that we hadn't seen it. We have now seen that video, and having seen it, you have to say, maybe it just took them this long to gather the strength to utter those words, because that was really tough to watch. Having said that, everybody should watch it. And you just hope tonight, Sean, that whomever does have Nancy Guthrie is watching, has seen it, and will respond. Sean?
All right. Well said. Jonathan Hunt, thank you. And we will be going back to you throughout the hour. Nancy Grace also will join us in just a... Now, tonight, investigators have returned to the home.
Now, also, something came out that from the sheriff's department that they're not going to give the press conference tonight. They're not going to do any of those things. But they said that they're probably going to be back out to the house tonight. They're probably going to be back out there and, searching. So, hey, honey, wherever you're at. There you are. Hello, hello. Just singing you, honey. Hello. But they're probably going to be searching. They do need to search, in my opinion. But again, I think that search, I don't know about y'all, but I think that search is going to take them right back to Nancy's house, which should tell us something. We already know it's the crime scene, but I think there's a little bit more going on than actually meets the eye. That's just me. Hey, Terry and everybody, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everyone is here. Thank you. I couldn't see just a minute ago, so I'm just going to go through these real quick. Honey, I hope you're having a good day. Are you working? Well, it doesn't matter. I just hope you have a good night. If you are in working, you up in here, you are up in cheer. You are. Hello, hello. I can tell you one thing about that house. She's not that. Exactly. Now, see, that's one thing we can say. So I don't think it was them just going in to get Annie's whatever approval for something, because she's not there. She has not been there. Wherever they're at, they're not there. Right? Oh, well, have a good night. Have a good night. So wherever they're at, they're not there. And that's, one of the things. I don't know. Let's see.
There's a new statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "We do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when relevant information becomes available, it will be shared." They say there's going to be no press briefing scheduled right now unless something happens. And then they say many of you observed an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow as part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is all part of the investigative process as the search for Nancy expands and new leads come in. To preserve the integrity of this criminal investigation, details of that process are not being released at this time. It's interesting that they say new leads are coming in. So that's kind of the latest. I'm still outside Nancy's house. I'm just in the car, but I'll keep you guys posted. Hey guys, all right, so there's a new statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "We do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when relevant information becomes available, it will be shared." They say there's going to be no press briefing scheduled right now unless something happens. And then they say many of you observed an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow as part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is all part of the investigative process as the search for Nancy.
So, yeah, they said there's not going to be any pressers. So I guess he was serious about that. Probably he means unless there's an arrest or something. I don't know. A lot of people think there's going to be, I do too. I like Brian a lot. I don't know why his credit keeps disappearing. I'm going to have to check into that when I get off of here, but I do too. I like him a lot. But I don't know. I don't know unless David Presser, they said that they're going to probably do some searching tonight. And so I don't know what is going on. I do feel bad for her. I do too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Please, yes, y'all continue those prayers. I just wish, unless I missed it, I wish I could go and find that freaking, what is this one? All right, let's see what this one is. Hold on, I'm almost done. Let's see. That one. All right. Oh, that was just all right, this was 3 hours ago. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if y'all could still see me or not. I see that or not. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Hold on. I don't know if I can get back to it. Lord have mercy. I wish I could see that one. Jesus. Okay, this is the one we was looking at. Hold on. FBI Director Kash Patel arrives in Tucson today, sparking hopes of Nancy Guthrie's. Listen, we all hope she's okay, but we want to see some action. I don't know about y'all, but I want to see some action. Kash Patel will travel to Tucson on Monday as the hunt for Nancy Guthrie enters the 9th day after President Trump's suggested answers may be imminent. The FBI director is set to arrive in Arizona City this afternoon for what his staff said to be a pre-planned visit, not linked to the 84-year-old's abduction last week. Or maybe they meant to put now linked to the 84-year-old abduction. Maybe that was misprint. But spokesman for Patel conceded that plans may change, suggesting he could, depending on what happened today. So all that came out, but I don't know. Let's see. Nothing. They have the hostage negotiations people there ready to go, but that's over and done with. I'm telling y'all, that is over and done. It's done. This is when they were doing the septic tank. Daily Mail full credit. This was I think they were doing a couple days. Okay. So yeah, that was a few days ago. That's when they were checking the septic tank, right? Hold on.
People are in the chat. All right. So you guys ready to go for a walk? Go for a walk.
This is full credit to JLR.
I'm just going to show you how many people are here. It's a complete circus out here. See a lot of national media here. All eyes on. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Yesterday, they were here searching a manhole, a couple manholes in the back right corner. Well, we were provided some maps. It appears there's an additional septic tank somewhere up here in the front. They have not checked that. Maybe they'll come back today and check it. Haven't heard anything from the family yesterday. They haven't given out any
Look, media from all around the world is there,
that
people.
goes every few days.
Look at that.
We are over a week
That was
now
from
since
this morning.
this incident happened.
Look at that. As far as you can see.
See what happens today and what today brings, folks. They're all arriving. Media is arriving. It's just cars. The whole block is filled with cars and vehicles. 5 p.m. deadline. Now, let me ask all of you. Did they say
Look,
5
it's
p.m.
just
Mountain time?
Ocean.
Like
Ocean
when they say
of
a 5
them.
p.m. deadline, is that 5 p.m. Mountain? Is it 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, or 5 p.m. another country, somewhere else? What is 5 p.m.? Because that I really haven't had clarification on 5 p.m. Is that local? Because one of the ransoms were sent to a local TV
Yeah,
station.
look at that.
Is
They're
the people local,
everywhere.
or they're somewhere else.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Arizona Tom.
I missed the one about the prayer circle. He come up. I was listening while I was in the car today. I was driving. I wanted to see that picture, but I don't know where it's at exactly right now. That a bunch of people was around, the mailbox doing the prayer circle, and evidently he didn't get it, but he walked up and kind of walked by, and he could hear them praying, but literally,
so cars keep going all the way up the street.
Somebody else put that picture out, but yeah, as far as you
And then
can
this
see,
is down the street.
so I just wanted y'all to
it looks
see
like a
that
bus is
too. But yeah, full credit to JLR, and I thank him for going there and doing that. So I want to put that up there because if anybody has any information, they do need to call that number 520-351-4900 or call the FBI. Call the FBI. I don't think JLR. Let's just double check. Yeah, he stayed on 11 hours and 47 minutes. He said he may go back out there, but I don't know. So I'm just going to leave that up. I know we'll probably need that tomorrow. Lord have mercy. He got over 1 million views yesterday. That was great. Great. Let's look at this one. Hold on. I keep forgetting I have to share my screen. Hold on. Let's see. This is where she pleads for her mom. An hour of desperation. That was today, put out at 4:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it was a little bit sooner. Well, it was here when I heard it. But today's co-host, Savannah Guthrie, issued that plea for her, for public's help, basically. She called it an hour of desperation. Okay, here we go. We believe our mother is still out there, she said in a video posted, and we need your help. That's sad, y'all. That's sad. She started the video by saying she wanted to thank everybody and, say, first of all, thank you so much for all of your prayers and the love that have been felt. My sister and my brother and I, she's letting you know that she felt them. She feels them. She feels her mom is being lifted up, and her mom feels them too. It's just a whole sad situation. Let's see what this one is.
She is an attorney who represents several Epstein survivors. Jennifer, I'm glad you're with us.
We don't need to watch that. No, we don't need that.
Nicole Killian and the work lawmakers undertook this.
Anyway, we don't need to watch all that. I don't know what all that is, but anyway, so just show them who's the boss, who's in charge. I'm sure it's going to be more heated from here. It really will. There's going to be searches. I feel like something's going to happen. Again, I know time keeps coming and going, and all these creators keep saying that, but I do feel like something's going to happen soon. I feel like people have no choice. They know what's going on. And I know, remember that day, Rogue, I was in here and I had my face right up to the computer and it was a damn butt commercial. Oh my God, I swear it scared the shit out of me. I don't like how those things jump out like that. Yes, I pray evil is caught as well. I do. And again, I think they know. But before we go, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming in here. I don't know what else is going on, but we'll find out, and I will keep y'all up to date. I'm just going to say the only way I know how that Nancy is not forgotten, and she's not for a second. That's obvious. And you remember that weight, and she's not forgotten. And it's critical still they find her regardless, in my opinion. I don't know if they got proof of life or they didn't. I have no idea. There is, family and friends and church members. Good night, Carol. Thank you for being here, honey. Love you. And everybody that cares about this lady, and she needs to be found. It doesn't matter that time's passing. It doesn't matter. Our voices are not going to fade for her, right? and we're still calling out her name. And if Nancy hears us, I hope more power to her. I hope she does. I hope she can feel this. I hope she's being lifted. And I hope she can hear the love she has from around this world, you know, because people do care. Strangers, people she'll never meet or never see, who have never met her and never will, just like Sebastian, who's never met her and who never will, you know. She don't walk alone in the storm. And there was a storm that came through her house that night. But we're not going to let darkness win. We're not. You know, eventually everything will come out. So from my heart to yours, thank you very much for caring for Nancy and we're all of these victims, because their lives matter, and we won't be quiet. So let's play us out, and then y'all have a good night, okay? Let's play us out. Everybody, thank you for being here.
She was born and bred in Nashville. Now she walks the beaches down in Florida sand. A mother and wife, a daughter, a sister, trying hard to do the best she can. She found her voice with a heavy heart, looking for purpose with trembling hands. And giving this all a new start, moving ahead, speaking for ones who came. And she says, I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones unheard, 'cause she's got a caring heart that won't be turned. Her mama fought cancer while she was searching, stories that needed a gentle voice. We saw summer's name and felt the heart ache and tried to bring light where there was no choice. And when she heard of Sebastian, her sadness rose. She prays for truth through the noise. She'll follow wherever the story goes, seeking their dignity, a child's joy.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Froze. I was froze. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Love you so much. Have a great night.